The Dallas, Texas real estate market is still super hot. We're seeing people move to Dallas by the droves, with inventory still being low, and many homebuyers are wondering, what does it take to buy a house in Dallas? Well, stay tuned, because that's what we're talking about today.
Hey there, we are Bret and Molly Chance with Texas Home Life Realty, and we love helping people find the best Dallas suburb to call home. The Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is a big place with lots of great cities, so finding the right place for you and your family to live can seem overwhelming. If that's you, we're here to help. Reach out to us by phone or email, and we'll go to work helping you find your new home. Now, if you or someone you know has been trying to buy a home in the Dallas area, you're probably aware of this crazy real estate market here right now. We have lots of people moving into the area, but not enough homes for sale to keep up with the demand. So today, we're sharing the 4 steps to buying a home in Dallas to avoid unnecessary frustration. Be sure to stay tuned to the end when we'll tell you who should and should not buy a house this year and why.
Now, before we dive into what it takes to buy a house in Dallas in 2022, I want to preface this by telling you this is general information. It may differ depending on price range, location, and many other factors. First, put your offer in that's the most appealing to the seller. Put your best offer in first. There will be many items that can be negotiated in an offer to purchase a home. Most people tend to think all about sales price, but it's not. There are many other items that can cost either the buyer or the seller money or time, such as the title policy, leaseback, and closing cost, and an option period, and an appraisal waiver. I want to share with you an email that was sent to me from a listing agent on a property that I had shown to one of my buyers. This is a very typical situation and will give you a good idea as to what the sellers are looking for in an offer. Here's what the agent said in the email, and I'm just going to hit the high points of this. They had 21 showings, received 16 offers, and all the offers were above the seller's asking price. 11 offered the requested leaseback at no cost. 11 waived the option period, which also is the inspection period. 13 of the offers, the buyer was paying the seller's title policy. The seller accepted the highest offer because that offer also met all the other criteria that was most important to the seller. If you're going to buy a house in Dallas in 2022, you're going to need to make your offer as appealing as possible to the seller. Of course, without putting yourself and your family in a bad situation. You're going to have to give more than you want. It may seem unfair, but focus on the end goal and what your budget will allow. Remember, when you break it down and see that for every $10,000 you go up upon price, it's about $50 a month more in your mortgage payment, and this will help ease your mind. Anytime you can break it down to factual information, it helps keep your emotions in check. It's easy to get emotional in this market, but the people that are winning and getting their needs met are those that are going back to the facts and the reasons why they're wanting to move. In fact, we just helped a young couple buy a house here in the area. It took them a little while to get used to the fact of how competitive our market is and how fast the market is moving. Unfortunately, they lost out on their first 2 homes. However, on the 3rd home, we got their offer accepted on a home that they really loved, and it's a great fit for them. Then we have another family moving into the area from out of state. We're able to find a builder for them with a great house. And as we're looking at making the offer, they figured out how much it would cost them if they had to make a double move, meaning finding temporary housing, storage costs, and all that. So they figured that amount of money, what it would take, they put that into their offer and were able to get their offer accepted the first go around. And it's a great property. Second, have extra cash on hand on top of your down payment and your closing costs to cover the appraisal shortage. Now, the appraisal shortage, what that means is that the lender will require the house to be appraised, making sure it's worth what buyer and seller have agreed upon, and they're only going to lend on what that appraised value is. So if buyer and seller have agreed upon a higher amount, then that amount has to be covered by somebody. So the buyers are having to use extra cash to cover that difference on top of their closing cost and their down payment. Now, being flexible on your timeline and move-in date, what does that look like? That means that we can go ahead and get a financed offer closed within 30 days and sometimes a little bit less than that. However, the seller is needing time to be able to go find another house, or they have some other timing issues. They need to stay in the house a little bit longer. So the buyers are offering what we call a free leaseback, meaning we'll go ahead and close on the loan. Then the seller gets to live in the house up to 60 days after closing, either at a negotiated rate, or a lot of times we're seeing the sellers get to stay there for free because of the way the market is. Fourth, be willing not to find your perfect forever home. Get clear on the things that you must have versus the things that would be nice to have. Be prepared to make more than one offer. Most buyers in this market are having to put in several offers before getting the one accepted.
Be ready for an emotional roller coaster. Have supportive family and friends. Be careful of well-meaning people that try to give you advice on what to do in this market. You know, sometimes outside voices from people that aren't in your specific situation and in your specific real estate market can be more confusing than helpful. Stay positive and try to keep your focus on the end goal of what this new home will do for you and your family.
Now, as promised, let's talk about the people who should and should not buy a home in Dallas in this current real estate market. And for the people who should, you'll ride up the increase and gain wealth in your property. You'll get more house for the money now before the interest rates and home prices continue to increase, and they will. For the people who should not buy, if you aren't really motivated, you're just kind of kicking the tires to see what's out there. If you don't have extra cash in hand, if you're looking for a deal below market value, right now you're getting a deal in this market because the interest rates and the home prices continue to appreciate.
If you have any questions on what it takes to buy a home in Dallas in 2022, reach out, call us, email us, and we'll be happy to help. And if you'd like to know more about what's going on with the Dallas real estate market in 2022 and whether it's a good time to buy a home, check out our next video, Should I Buy a House in Dallas in 2022?